This yo-yo is the Replay Pro, and this yo-yo has us really excited because we haven't seen a yo-yo at this price point coming in at under $20 that has this level of performance. And so there's a lot of qualities that this yo-yo has that allow it to play that well, so we'll just get right to it. The first thing that you're going to notice about this yo-yo is this plastic. It's a really durable polycarbonate, and if you're familiar with the flight yo-yo, you'll see that it is the exact same kind of plastic. And what we've found with the flight yo-yo is even though it's an off-string yo-yo, and even though you're hitting it on the ground and it's bouncing all over your house, it has held up extremely well. And so we have high hopes that the Replay Pro is going to prove just as durable. The other thing that you're going to notice about the plastic is that this area right here, right around the yo-yo, is extremely thick. And so if you think about the overall weight of the yo-yo, most of it is going to be centered right here, right around the edge. And that's going to give it a lot of its really distinctive play features. Most notably is that it really doesn't tilt all that much while you're performing advanced tricks, and it's not going to turn a lot while you're doing your tricks as well. And so there's other qualities about this yo-yo that help with that. And to see those, we're going to open the yo-yo up. Now, when you first get your Replay Pro, you may find it squeaking a little bit when you take it apart. The reason for that is just because the bearing is fitting really tightly onto the bearing seat. That's actually not a problem at all. It's not going to affect play or even be a problem that it squeaks a little bit when you open it up. So you don't need to worry about that. And the bearing is actually one of the notable things about this yo-yo. This is a center track bearing, which is a $10 bearing, which is pretty impressive considering this whole yo-yo typically costs right around $16. So in some sense, you could say that's just kind of an extravagance that wasn't really necessary, but it shows Yo-Yo Factory's commitment to making this yo-yo play as good as possible. Because it's got a center track bearing, that's also part of what contributes to its ability to resist lean during difficult tricks. The other thing that helps a lot is you can see right off of the response pad, the wall kind of drops down. People have taken to calling that a zero wall right now, and it's the same type of thing. It helps it have extremely long spin times and also helps it resist those leaning tendencies that yo-yos can have. So when you want to perform maintenance on this yo-yo, because the bearing is going to fit pretty tight on the bearing seat, you are going to want to use a multi-tool. The nice thing is that because of the plastic, it actually comes off pretty easy, even though it's pretty difficult to get off with just your hands. Replacing it will be really easy as well. Of course, just like any bearing, you're going to want to lube that bearing with thin yo-yo lube. And so if you end up getting the Replay Pro Players Pack, it's going to come with both those items, the yo-yo, the multi-tool, as well as the lube. So assembly is pretty straightforward because there's no spacers or anything. It just fits right on the plastic, and then you can just put the yo-yo right back together. You'll also notice it has the standard slim 19mm pads. In this case, it came with blue, which we're a big fan of, and it works really well in this particular model. So one of the more unusual design choices about the Replay are these caps on the inside. And if you're anything like me, you're going to be tempted right away to try to pop those caps out and see what's underneath. And we highly recommend that you don't do that. One of the reasons is if you were to pop the cap off, what you'd find is that the plastic around the bolt underneath the cap is actually molded right around the top of the bolt. And so if you try to push this bolt through the yo-yo, it will actually crack the plastic and ultimately break the yo-yo. And Yo-Yo Factory has commented to us specifically that the caps are not just a design choice, but they actually help the yo-yo perform as well as it does. And so just in general, removing the caps is best to be avoided. So the one thing that we really can't communicate to you through a video is just how good this yo-yo feels to hold it and to throw it and to play with it, but of course we can show you tricks, so let's get right to it. So one thing that we really like about the Replay Pro is that it's actually really good for a pretty wide variety of tricks, and if you're still developing your own style, that's going to help you out quite a bit. Now, one thing that you may not expect is that it's actually really good for regens. And even though it's probably not designed for finger grinds, it's actually not half bad at hitting those as well. Now, if you look at this area right here, because it backs up into the yo-yo a little bit, it's actually not half bad for your off-axis finger spins. And speaking of off-axis, because of its ability to resist tilt, It's not a bad yo-yo if you're just starting to get into off-axis, to kind of get used to how those tricks work and even to learn your off-axis fundamentals. So if you're comparing this yo-yo to, I don't know, metal yo-yos that are twice the price, it's not going to quite compete on that level, especially for yo-yos that are designed for grinds and for really advanced play. But for pretty much any yo-yo that's under that $20 price point, including some of those metal yo-yos that you can find on the market, what we found is that other yo-yos, they just can't hold a candle to the Replay Pro. And so we're really excited to be able to make this available to you. Definitely check out our pack, the Player's Pack for the Replay Pro. That has everything you need to be able to get the most out of this yo-yo. And that is the Yo-Yo Factory Replay Pro.